I think we're live. Hello, survivors, and welcome to another Friday night stream with RSG and State of Survival. Joined by my panel here, we have Scorn's back. Yay! Welcome, Scorn. Duke Rolo as Daedric Halton.
I'm Ragnar.
Oh, are you Ragnar? Got it. Scorn is
Without
from...
my shirt on.
Nice. Scorn is from State 20. We have Daedric. He's got his cat face. He's not in cam tonight. He's being a little shy, I guess. Daedric is from State 42.
Yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo.
We also have Delete. Delete's from State 125, along with my state. I'm Team McVenom. Delete is also doing camless tonight. He's had some power issues, so he's going to go. We're going to miss both of their beautiful faces. Say hi, Delete.
Oh, hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Friday night, as usual.
It's so weird not having you two, like, just smirking.
Showing your gorgeous faces.
I know. It's just me and your gorgeous face now. Scorn. What do we
Takes me
do?
back to old streams. People are going to be like, wait, I'm not watching the new one.
True. Old stream. So tonight's stream is called SVS How You Doing. You have to do it like Joey. How you doing? Give it to me. Scorn. Give me your how you doing.
Where's Civil Wolf again?
So we're gonna talk. This is our first night of 9 o'clock chat. So we're probably gonna be a little tired, a little bit later towards 10 o'clock. Maybe it'll try to keep me in the hour. We've never done an hour show, so we'll see how this goes. But this show is going to be SVS and just kind of like talking about how we're doing, what we're excited for, what any changes that we've noticed in the previous SVS and what they've changed now that they've released it to the new one. Want to do some quick, before we get into that, I want to do some quick shout outs for the stream viewers. We have Miss Titsa Fury, Colossus, Gare Bear. Let's see who else we have in here. Ruse. Defender. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming in. Durgan. And Matt Ivory. Thank you guys for joining us. I see a lot more lurking. Haven't said anything in there, but FYI, Finn made you guys a new emoji. He made a 69 one. I'll have to come in and show you how to use it. He's like legit serious, made a 69. We're playing on state 359, by the way, and he thought it was 69, so he started saying 69, and now that's kind of our thing right now. Hi, Dinah. Thank you so much. Greetings from Holland, aka HK47. Super sweet guy. Thank you so much. He helps me out a lot. Gives me screenshots of new stuff coming up that I haven't seen yet. Thank you so much. George Adamo. Thanks. Oh, there's the 69 RSG. Nice. So, getting to that, first off, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the first code. We have 2 codes for you. They're each worth 1,000 biocaps. I'm going to give you the first one. Yeah, right. We stepped it up since you were last year scoring. Now we're getting like 2,000 biocaps a stream.
Whoa.
Big deal now.
Bringing that heat.
Right? So the first code is text. I'm not really sure where that code came from, but it works. Please don't. Yeah, right. Please don't share this, guys, in your Discord streams. This is for you guys, the viewers, the people that are here viewing the stream. You guys use it. Text 1,000 biocaps, and then later on at the end of the stream, I'll give you another code, but I'll save it till the end. So the first code is text. I probably should have waited a little bit till more people got on, but they're lost. You should be waiting, right? So, Scorn, how is your SVS going? Are you
It's a good question. It's interesting. We have I don't know how many people, like, you know, when you're not the platinum leagues with the showdown, you'll see state 60 NBS. They are not huge by any means, but they're primarily comprised of high spenders. The max players, their state has about, I think we counted 40 settlements with three plasma troops.
What? 40?
40? Yes. And so while we as a state have higher, BP by quite a bit, just having the game, revolves a lot around quality over quantity and that aspect. And so how do we, defend against these stronger players, et cetera. We only have arguably 2 max players in our state compared to they have 4 to 5 at least or so. And all those plasma troops, which, but what I've seen with videos and what they've done in the past, they're not very strategic. They're just like hit and pound. And so we have a strategy, which I won't mention now, just because they'll be here, but.
You have a strategy for when you jump. Is that what you're saying?
So they're a newer state and we're an older state.
Mm-hmm.
They're like 50 or so away from us, like way ahead of us. Later. And so they spent high. So we lost the prep phase, which is fine now, because now the prep phase, if you lose, the winner just gets the small healing buff, 15%, not a big deal. Yeah. So we get a benefit of now having, 4 rows of alts and farms blocking the way and things like that. But yep.
No, I was just gonna comment that seems like there's a strategy behind that somewhere around to like intentionally lose the prep phase. Did you guys do that? No,
we didn't do that. That was we were going to try to win, and we're like, all right, not nearly enough people are. We got all of our people who spent the first SBS that we were in the beta. A lot of people have left since then because the devs didn't hurry up. But I'm just kidding. I'm not being a jerk. And so we had this newer state without an SBS. So of course they're going to spend a lot. They have a little over 200% higher than we do.
Yeah.
We're at like 600, and they're at about a little over 1,500. Yeah, points, million. And so they're definitely showing us in that, which is fine. But it wasn't any type of like strategic decision or anything. It was just we were trying to do well with it, and we're like, nope.
No.
So, we're not going to win in this area.
But you do have a distinct advantages with something that we're dealing with right now. It's like going to pour over to the the losing state or the losing prep state. They have like 20 rows of alts and their regulars, their mains, just blocking the capital. So that's what you're doing.
Yeah, so that's a general strategy. That's what was done in the first couple SVSs you see a lot of people do. It just helps with timing. They have less time. We have less time to work with. They're trying to, let's send 3, 4, 5 rallies towards their capital. So even if they have someone stronger, we're gonna win. Mm-hmm. But now we have a much larger window to calculate when we need to send these counter reinforcements. But that's not the biggest part of the strategy. Even now, at least one thing I don't mind saying is the guy is crazy. So like I never sent him anything at all, like the main guy of this alliance, and he's like yelling in his state chat about like I'm gonna burn Scorn because he sent me fake screenshots. Never sent you a screenshot. You're drunk.
He's just insane.
Yeah, he's like a state bully. Like he's very much like bullied his state. Rank 2 is going to be participating, and they're pretty impressive in terms of they don't have any max players, but they have a lot of players that are pretty close to where they're actually, in my opinion, they could take on the rank 1 alliance if they wanted to, because they have that many more players that are near max, but they just don't have the oomph ball to do it. And so, yeah, I talked to him for a while, but I don't know, it's a weird situation. So they're going to be joining them though. Like, oh, we're going to join, this number 1 rank who's a bully and ruin everything for us, make people quit. They're the only ones who have all the bunkers and the fortresses. They don't show up to anybody, not even rank 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you're a douchebag, okay. And so they never did anything about it. They're going to try to after SVS, which is, a cop-out. But
so I noticed Red Rocket. Hi, by the way, Red Rocket. Nice to see you in here. He said he made accounts a week ago and made an alliance and ported to Cap and held close spots. But Fury, of course, what I would counter with is that the governor can port them out. Have you guys been having to do that? Have they made a bunch of all the accounts to save spots?
That's the funny thing. So we were just looking at that. We saw this alliance that we never seen before, which is a few, like 4 or 5 settlements. they weren't shielded, so we didn't have to evict any of them. We were just like, all right, let's just burn you real quick with one hit. You're out of the way, and we put someone else there. No biggie. You look at their state 60, and they're surrounding their capital and their towers because they don't understand how it works.
Oh, really?
Awesome. That's fine with me. Like, cool. That's fine. I don't mind you being lost that ambiguity. Like,
Maybe they did that preemptively to see if maybe they were losing. Maybe they thought they might lose.
no, they knew they were. I had people shit talking to me from the beginning about like, oh, look at this. You guys are clearly gonna lose this phase, which I ignored because, all right, you're cute. But like they were winning that hard, over 200% higher than us from the beginning almost. So no, they know they're not gonna lose the prep phase. They just have no clue what the war phase is gonna look like.
Gotcha.
Which works fine by me because now they changed it up since the first SVS that we played in toward we now only get 1 hour, which is frustrating, 1 hour between when we can go into their state and when the capital clash portion starts. So I have to dominate their top, like the big hitters, their max players within 1 hour. And usually that's something that's like, oh, give me a week or two maybe, but no.
No, you have like an hour.
Yeah, so I have to go in there with people who are a little bit better than me with that. I'm going to be in there, so we'll see what happens with that, hopefully, because like I said, they have those quite a few players that are like they're much less than us, but they're really large spenders. They have quite a few max players. So our route is we're going to have to remove their rallying capabilities. So let's say, you know, like, oh, cool, all of your weakest players that are filling rallies that don't have the top defenses, we zero them. So now instead of you throwing these 1 million large, 1 million filled or max rallies, you're now left with 850,000 or 700,000, which is substantial. That makes up the difference between our strong hitters compared to their, you know, max or near max players. So we have to focus on that. And they're very heated type of people that are just like, I'm expecting their main player, the strongest player, to solo me, which is like the worst move ever. So like, okay, that's cool with me. So hopefully that works out. Glorious.
I just realized I have my own live stream on. There we go.
Yeah, I think Facebook the camera.
I'm the only one on stream now. What the heck's going on, Daedric? There
we go.
I mean, I do love myself, but not that much. Bean, how's it going? $4.99. Thank you so much. It's going. Where she says she's driving, so she'll behave. Thank you. We appreciate that. So question, Fury and I were talking about this early in our states, in our other state when we were playing, that we think that the capital should be locked. Like they should have the mist, the lock, like when you first start the game and you have the capitals locked, because it's causing it to where what's the point of investing all this money into winning the prep phase when you can stay home and get the advantage of getting 6 rows deep at the capital, you know?
I think they definitely screwed the pooch on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a bad move. Yeah. Like that's what it is. Yeah. Just I was explaining like, oh, we tried, we didn't even come close to winning. So we stopped trying to spend and we don't really mind because we lose a 15%, not a 15% aggregate, a 15% added on to the 3 or 400% you already have. So it really doesn't have a noticeable difference. Just like we have like the state healing buff, 50%, which is nice. That's a 50% added on, not of the total of your healing already. So it doesn't make that substantial of a difference. And so it's kind of okay, I'm not going to notice 2 or 3 minutes of a difference.
Yeah, I think it was just a really bad decision. I don't know if it was, I don't know what the decision, like what were they thinking? Do they think that it would cause, you know, to spend more or like in ports and stuff? Or like what was the, you know, the business decision behind that? Because I feel like it's going to cause people to spend less trying to win because they can just, like you said, you know, just, all right, we're not going to win. I'm not going to spend any more. Let me just take the hit and have home base advantage.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that earlier. And so going back and thinking about, you know, that decision and, you know, past decisions on, you know, how they done the coding and the battle mechanics and things like that, like, what were they thinking? They weren't.
I think they do.
Welcome back, Scorn.
Yes.
Welcome back, buddy.
Scorn. He's our resident negative Nancy here.
Just kidding. I love the devs. They're so nice. They send me nice messages all the time. Like, I like you. You're nice.
Stop talking shit.
No, they send me dick pics and make fun of me all the time.
Stop.
No one loves you. I'm always crying when you guys try to talk to me. The devs just pick on me all day.
So good.
Daedric,
So good.
how about you, buddy? How's your SVS situation going?
Good. We got state 29.
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of time frame, really not a lot older. The points, when looking at the score right now, we're up by about 260 million, which isn't a lot. It sounds like a lot, but that's actually only one event. It's points accumulated off of each stage. Like, we've won each stage, but it's been an accumulation of points. So they definitely had the ability to beat us. Part of the reason why we're winning, and this is the case for a lot of states, and it's been a very hot topic for discussion, is the matching system and the gap in between. State 3, great example. State 3 is against 106. So if you're looking,
Wow.
if you're looking in terms of age and you look at the points, state 106, I think at one point was like 750, 800 million higher. Like, they were already at 1.5 billion points, and state 3 wasn't even close. Like, it just was not even close. So when you're looking at, it from an activity perspective, and, how many spenders are left and who's maxed out and whatever the case may be, we didn't end up in that boat, but you can still see the effects of a newer state versus an older one. So we definitely had an advantage because of our age.
Mm-hmm.
We found out they actually don't have any maxed players, and we do. And they are the older state. So, that was a surprise. So going into it, we've done the same thing. A couple alliances have created farm account alliances to block off certain spots at capital. But we've done some scouting on their stats. Some alliances have faced them in Alliance Showdown or some of the other cross capital events that go on, and I can tell you right now, I don't think it's going to last very long. I think it'll be a very quick capital. With the plan that has been created for our state, I think 42 will capture it in a very short period of time. And that's not to say state 29 is not going to have a chance or not know what they're doing. It's just that the power imbalance is quite significant.
Interesting. So, question now that you said the short state capital battle, is there any advantage to making that battle longer, extending it longer than it needs to? Is there any point advantage thing
No.
with that?
Well, so let me correct myself. Yes and no. Yes, if you're really focused on the points in the stage, because top alliance and solo top kill points get you some really great rewards in terms of the stage itself. But if you're looking at it in a long-term perspective, the amount of resources and potentially money and biocaps you're putting into a longer cross-state capital is just absolutely gross. Like, it's not worth the effort. You'd rather save all those additional materials, money, whatever else you're putting in, because people will be doing that, and saving it for upcoming reservoir raids, capital clashes, next cross-state. I just, for a lot of people, like, it starts at 4 a.m. for me. People do not want this to run a full day. Most of us who have the early morning start time want to get it done in 8 hours and be done with it.
Yeah, it's a long time. Like, I wouldn't want to waste my whole day that way. Scorn, what were you gonna say? You were gonna say something.
I generally agree with Daedric. I was going to say, I had a proposition that I respond to that was something similar to extending it, and I ended up disagreeing with it in the long term. But in the end, but he had a good point. Trying to find it right here real quick to see his argument. But it was an argument for making it last a long time based upon the premise that, we're a lot weaker. I think the main issue was that he didn't understand that a lot of people thought attackers got more points, which they don't. It's just about, kills and wounded. And then you get passive points for holding the buildings, the towers, and the capital. And so I ended up, turning that one down. But it was a pretty interesting, and I wouldn't say it's wrong off the top, right away. But he mentioned instead of holding, 8 hours straight to get the most points, he was trying to argue, like, what if none of the two states got to hold it for 8 hours straight? And so his idea was let them hold the towers, and then, some more strong players, me and another one, would rally their weakest towers to get more points, and just build up those points. And we would just leave it alone, let them hold the towers, that's all they want, and we just keep hitting those towers and all the points. There's quite a few issues that were wrong with it at the time, and still are at the moment, but in some circumstances, I can see why that may work out to where no one ends up getting the capital, but one person ends up having, like, when it's 6 or 7 hours in, we grab the capital real quick, so it resets after a few minutes, then we jump out and let them have it again, and we just keep on taking points. There's a lot of issues with it, but I don't want to disregard it immediately because there's some interesting aspects to it that in some circumstances it may be beneficial because you do win that entire phase based on points. So even let's say they win capital, hypothetically, if we get more points in the war phase, we still win. So it's an interesting dilemma. But generally, personally, in this case, I guess, I would agree with Daedric. I think just holding the capitals and stuff and playing it a certain way like I am this time is better. Because we're going to be facing an opponent who has multiple maxes, 40 3 plasma troop settlements, much more than us. And so I'm having to use a strategy to work around that, but I'm still holding the towers in the first place. And I think that's the best way to go still, because you get passive points also.
Daedric, what else you got going on with your SVS? We're like a lively bunch tonight. We're all kind of just tired from the week and having to get ready for SVS. Somebody said something about, do I want to watch the stream or do I want to sleep and get ready for SVS? So I wonder if everybody's just kind of getting prepared for the storm.
Conserve energy for the marathon that could potentially be tomorrow.
Daedric, you have a 4 a.m. one. Scoring, what time is yours?
4 or 5. I'm guessing 5 now because it should be 4 if Daedric's is. We're different time zones. I'm in Colorado. So I think mine might be 5 then. I never do capital. I always just have someone else log into my account, like one of my trusted people. They park me in capital. I don't need badges. So I just hey, put me in capital and you guys fight it out.
You're awful, man. You're awful.
I need my sleeps.
Delete.
I woke up early today so that I could go to bed early, wake up early for SVS.
Oh, set your internal time clock. Gotcha.
Your internal time clock. Delete. So what time
well,
is
ours? I feel like ours starts at 5, but then it's the hour before for the kickoff to kill event and go destroy stuff, right? I feel like that's where we're at.
You're East Coast, so
yeah.
2 hours after. Oh yeah. Well, no, because then that would be 4 o'clock. Then I'm 4 a.m.
I'm probably just gonna stay up. I mean, I would have a hard time getting up at 4 a.m. I'm just saying, if I don't have to go to work.
Gonna be difficult, but I get it. Due to the situation I've had this week, I feel like I owe it to the squad to kind of get up nice and early. Hey, hubby, what's up? I feel like I owe it to the squad to kind of get up, park myself in a tower, and probably, hopefully, never get bumped out of it. I mean, we've definitely, Stay 1 to 25 is basically banded together. We've put all our differences apart and just kind of decide to kind of string this together, and it's been great. We've been kicking ass. So it's been looking really good. Now it's just, everyone's got a plan until they get hit. So I think we're gonna do really well, just judging by, our strength over the state that we're playing. I think they've got some good players, but we are, State 125 is pretty battle hardened. So, we're gonna go in there and just try and wreck it. And I think, like we were talking about how we're going to be parked pretty far away. So it's going to change the dynamic of how we normally play our capital. But, the rules all remain the same. And you just got to, figure everything out. Everything's got to be, just concerted, with the right amount of effort and go from there, and play on the fact that our players are ready to play 24 hours. I don't think we'll need it, but a lot of our players are really excited for this event, more so excited than they've been in just about anything for a while. So it's going to be good. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's been interesting, like working with your enemies for greater good. I honestly did not think we would be able to do it, but we've all been doing pretty well, I have to say. Like everybody on both sides have been doing pretty well. Go ahead, Score.
Good question. Bean, who's out there, I've heard really great things about Rod, and I'd really love to check things out and participate. If you guys have any open level 30 HQs, I'd love to join you guys. I want to put that out there.
You are terrible.
Thank you.
Don't listen to him. We're keeping it true. Don't listen to Scorn. He's a rabble rouser.
The enemy.
Rabble rouser and an instigator.
Such a rabble rouser. It's amazing.
So Tits of Fury said, we missed you on the stream, Scorn. Put a little 69 RSG 69. She donated $5 for that. You got a $5 shout out for how much you were missed.
What's worth $5?
I would give you 2 or 3, definitely. So you guys saw Mr. McVie slide in here with my coffee. I had changed my my setup a bit because I just did a video with the kind of big deal Mr. Streamer Echo. He did a State of Survival video, and I did a guest spot, and I needed a green screen back here, so I had to change it around. So you didn't get to see him come in, so he just slid in. He said to tell you guys hi. Who else we have in chat here? Oh, we got a lot of new people. I hope you got the codes, guys. The kill stage starts at 2 a.m. for me, smack dab in the middle of my work day. Yeah. And Bean said I was a bad girl last week, and I'm sorry. Yeah, you're fine, sweetie. You're good. Thank you so much for joining the stream and for the donation.
Well, if you're being a bad girl, then lay off the catnip.
Oh, so many things.
David, why aren't you on stream film tonight?
Because I'm in game on my iPad, and I use my iPad for camera.
Oh, because we had so many people wanting to know if they were going to get to see the Rusty kick. By the way, now that we have that, I was on Facebook, so I get on Facebook, State of Survival, and try to interact there a lot, just because they're doing a really good job promoting our stream on Facebook nonstop. So I try to pop in there, and they had a Rusty picture up. And they said, does anybody have anybody that looks like Rusty? And all these people were posting pictures. And this one guy, his name was Sean. Holy crap. Look at this guy. He looks just like Rusty. So he was like, I said, dude, can I please put your picture on my stream because you look so much like Rusty? He's like, absolutely. So Finn did a little bit of a Photoshop there for me and posted it up there. I mean, he looks just like Rusty. If his beard was blonde, he'd be down for Rusty, 100%. But everybody was so excited about seeing the Daedric Rusty kick. I'm bummed.
Well,
solid.
Let's get RSG to 10K subscribers, and that might just happen.
Whoa. Man, you hear that? You hear that?
Gauntlet is dropped. Let's do it. Tell your friends. Let's go.
You guys are in the live stream. It's really easy to hit subscribe.
Wow, Rusty. Look at that.
Right?
Such a badass.
Just like Rusty.
Rusty throwing out the boot of justice is amazing.
You know what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to get everybody to just start sending me their cosplays of the SOS characters so I can post them up on stream for everybody every week.
I'm going to dress up as Candy.
I'll be Maggie.
I'm going to go with
That
Chef.
is worth that is worth 10,000 streams for sure.
I'll make
10,000
sure
viewers right there.
I'll make sure I wear them short shorts for all the ladies. You know
I
what?
would sub
Even
for
for
that.
the even for the men, for that matter, we'll give it an equal sharing opportunity.
I would sub for
Boom.
that.
Do it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, so if you guys, any of you guys cosplay at all, or you have any lookalikes, post them to me in Discord, and then we'll put them up on the stream. I think that would be fun to do. So, question: if you guys have any questions at all for any of the panel members, don't say anything. Delete. Just put question into the chat with your question after that, so I can pull it up with Nightbot. So what are the things that you guys wish that they would change about SVS so far from what you're seeing? Now, I know we haven't played through it completely, but if there was a dev watching, what would you say to tweak? Number one, I think we all agree to close the capital down until at least, what, an hour before?
Yeah, put up a fog of war so that there's actually no ability to even see the capital, just completely fog it up. And yeah, I think an hour before it starts is a really good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even be fine a couple hours before, but like at least somewhat close it off so that, you know, I would say an hour before. Maybe. That doesn't give everybody a chance to port over there, though, does it? Well, no, you can port in an hour before, correct?
Correct.
So that would be good. Open it all up together. I think that's fine, because then you're not really giving the winners, you know, still have that advantage too. It's not like there's not an advantage to losing anymore. What other changes would you guys make so far out of what you've seen that has happened in SVS? What do you think about the rewards?
You know, I think the rewards should get better. You know, I would also, I think to kind of level the playing field for an older state that does have a lot of max players, you know, because a lot of events are, you know, the plasma is heavily weighted. You know, if you have plasma upgrades that you've been waiting on for SVS and you use them during the event, you got a really big advantage. You know, and if you already have that, you basically, your only choice is to train troops. You know, that's basically the only thing that you could really do to contribute, and that's a lot, you know, to catch up on. You know, so I would try and kind of like invent another way to contribute points. Maybe even, yeah, I mean, there's got to be something out there. I can't think of anything off the top, but you know, the point structure and the rewards should be stronger, because the amount invested in the event heavily outweigh the rewards that you get for putting into it.
Yeah. What about the way they have the days broken down? I know that somebody else said that the troop training stage point overkills is overkill in the event. Do you guys think anything about the troop training? I know I agree with Bean about the too many plasma days. I mean, there's 2 plasma days, right?
There's 3 or 4.
Is there really?
Today?
3?
First 2 days.
Yeah.
At least 3 minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plasma is almost in every event.
And the troop waiting is an issue with survival of the fittest too. I mean, they mentioned that like you only have to focus on the troop training phase to win survival of the fittest. I mean, so it's not surprising it's the same way. The rewards don't make a lot of sense, because the people that are going to be paying a lot of money are the people who already have a lot of money, and they're the same people that are already going to have the plasma and the hunter hero. So it's kind of a, like, again, it makes you, you know, approach this question of like, are the devs drunk? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. They're clearly hot.
He actually likes you, devs, I promise. He talks nothing but good things behind your back. Question, Rusty Kick, 15K subscribers for Daedric in a miniskirt with a machine gun.
Oh my God, yes. You know what? I'll top that. I'll wear a mini sports bra. I'll be topless with a mini sports bra, with the mini skirt, with the machine gun, and I might have a kitten or 2 in my.
Is that
in
really
the
a
vicinity.
reward though?
Are you,
You know
gonna
what?
like?
You know
Which
what?
way is it going to go for you,
Oh,
Daedric?
come
Are
on.
you going to get in the best
One-
shape of your life or the worst shape of your life for it?
One person's
the question.
trash is another person's treasure.
You know, you pick on me all the time with the grandma jokes. I had to throw it in there. Come on.
Mm.
Payback. Question: what are all of your solo SBS scores? Mine is 36.5 million, number one in state 65 and 94. That's from Ruse. Mine is pretty low. Mine's pretty low, to be honest. With everything going on with the hurricane, we've been catching up with at work. Like, honestly, I've been trying to put as much as I can into SBS, but it's not a whole lot lately. And I've saved as much as I could, and I blew them whenever I could, but it's not as much as I would like to have said I have. But what about you guys?
There you go.
I see you, little scorn, cutie. What about you guys? Doing pretty good in your solos? I know Delete's been doing decent.
As in the solo rewards for SBS?
Yeah, are you doing pretty good on your SBS scores?
Who isn't? Sorry, is everybody here doing the minimum?
Yeah, I'm doing the minimum.
Yeah.
I'm getting all of my
Yeah.
minimums met.
Yes, I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
I'm doing the minimum like I'm doing my dailies. Is basically the way it works out.
So I'm curious though, if everybody in a fairly active state, did the minimum, what the score would be, or is it mostly like the top 10% of a state carrying the whole score, or is it if everybody just did the minimum, would it carry that same amount? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I actually, for a lot of it, it was actually, just to kind of boost our score. I was just like, let me hop into my farm that I basically neglected, and I use it just to plunder. And I'm like, okay, all right, my farm's got a boatload to do. Let's rock. So
Yeah.
that's how I've been basically kind of, I've been kind of doing both, just to kind of like help out as much as possible, help the state as much as possible.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait till 5-star plasma. Let's see if we have any other questions. So what were some other things that we were talking about changing? Somebody else said there was the plasma troops, and then there's an infected stage. Do you think there should be an infected stage in the SBS?
That would be cool. It would basically give a lot of the free to play that don't want to put the investment in there, give them a shot, or even if it was wanted to be something is just a pure money grab, just like, all right, which state plunders the most from their own state? Just like plundering resources, see how that would work out. Basically, force a little bit more battle in there. Maybe something like that could work out. But killing infected or even like plague zone, putting that in there, anything besides just like, hey, plasma.
Yeah.
Plasma.
I'm trying to think what other events they could put in that we've seen in other places that would be helpful for free to plays to contribute. There's the infected. Or have we seen anything else that would do that? I don't think that. I think that's really it. That's like super free to play friendly for like events.
You could combine a whole bunch of different aspects of the infected. So you have regular infected on the map, you have the fiends, you could actually include plague zone in there as well. So, plague zone would be one of your largest point generators in an event like that, just because they do categorize everything by points. You could even line up, like there's so many infected PvE aspects to the game if you just combine it all together in one day. Like I know Horde is a far stretch, but just considering that you do get points, solo points for Horde and Alliance points for Horde, you could include that in there too. Like you just mangle all infected events all in one day, and I could see that being really fun and driving activity for free to play.
Yeah. I wonder if you could even do like a little special trap, like highest damage and trap kind of thing. Like a state trap. Wouldn't that be fun? Like a state trap? Okay, I might be a little drunk. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'll go back to my coffee.
Awesome.
Scoring, you jerk. I'm so glad he's back. Let's see. Hello from a new player in state 357, Plasma 1972. Welcome. We appreciate you joining us. We have a lot of people from the new states that are popping in to the stream a lot more. Granted, all of these guys are mostly new. They're all older states. Delete and I did pick up a new state just so that we could kind of grasp some of the newer game mechanics because it's different. It's very different.
Talk of that lingo that young kids,
All you young
are
kids.
talking these days.
Yeah,
all you TikTokers out there.
Yeah, right. We need to make some SOS TikToks. But yeah, so we appreciate all you newer state players coming in and watching the stream. We'll try to have more discussions on some of the newer state stuff too for you. Let's see. 125's highest solo is 30.9 million. That's good to know. That's probably what, Rod? See, thank you, Gravemind. Gravemind said it would be an awesome idea.
Well, he might be drunk too, so.
Yeah, pity congrats right there.
Red Rocket's like, question, isn't State Trap capital?
That's a good point. No. Very good point.
No. Okay, Daedric, is there anything else that you would change about what we've seen? What are some things that you like about it, or things that you would change that we've noticed in State v State so far?
So I'm going to speak on this particular topic from a global perspective. So I'll answer your question, but it really goes a lot larger than that. Is alt accounts. Is it really, so from a perspective of capital and like especially the cross state, you know, looking at our opponent right now, so Fog of War was one thing, but we're talking hundreds of settlements, and the majority of them are players who've actually ported in, but we're talking, you know, potentially 75, 100 alts that are blocking out territory. You know, the issue that poses is obviously it's a tough thing for people going in. You know, I'm obviously going to play capital, but for me to, like, let's say I don't get a spot at the capital and I'm doing a 30-minute rally. So normally I can sit there and my rally takes 5 minutes because I'm close enough. I can sit around and wait for that. But if you just imagine getting up at 4 a.m., you've got all these different time zones and your rallies take 30 minutes, your reinforcements take 30 minutes, and you're literally, the only thing you're doing is sitting there watching the screen and talking to people, but you're relying on the rally to reach before you can actually get any more activity. And it actually creates boredom, to be honest with you. You know, what I would do is I would set a rally and then leave. I'm not going to stick around in the game and sit there for 30 minutes, right? I'm going to go and do something else. You know, the tough thing with that is there's an expectation in the event where, let's say you have a really competitive grouping of alliances, you're going to have rallies being launched every, you know, couple minutes from all various alliances. So, you know, I can't rely that my 30-minute rally is actually going to reach its destination and win. You know, the tower might be vacated, my rally might bounce back, you know, anything can happen. So it really creates an issue for, you know, people who are late to the game, or again, a state who has the advantage of blocking off capital. And then looking at it from a global perspective, which is the next part I wanted to get to, is you're looking at the population of the game. So, you know, part of the thing with State of Survival in any app is they advertise their population of players and, you know, how many active people there are in a state population, game population, you know, how much activity is being driven in wherever. Well, if alliances are creating, let's say you have 3 alliances and they all create alts, and you have 300 alts in a state, you know, I'm looking at it from a perspective of, you know, you're now skewing the activity numbers of a state. So we're talking about migration and merges in the future. You know, that becomes biased because now you have all these active alts in a state. So is the state actually dead, or is it alive? Is it, you know, there's all these questions that come up. So I might be going a little bit too deep.
No, that's actually an excellent point about skewing the activity results of a state.
Yeah. Like I might be going too deep because obviously we're talking specifically about state versus state, but it has something that has crossed my mind, because the conversation about migration or merge, and just keep in mind for the viewers, migration and merge are 2 different things. They're not the same term, but the conversation has come up, and it's a very serious conversation now with how old the game is. But it is a concern for me that if all these farm accounts and alts keep popping up in states, what is the justification that your state is actually dead?
Well, also, how does it impact matchups? The
Yeah,
algorithm
exactly.
for matchups
That's another
for
good point.
how
Yeah.
many active accounts are logged in daily. Do they do it by power? Do they do it by spending? Or they do it by like active daily logins per account per state? You know, like, I mean, if it's a multifaceted algorithm, like they're using a bunch of different factors to match up, and that one's one of them, that could be a big issue.
Yeah. So again, I might be going too deep, and so I apologize if I've confused anyone, but it has been a train of thought that's been running in the back of my mind. But for the sake of this conversation, my biggest issue is the fact that a state has hours upon hours of advantage time to block off, and I'm potentially going to be stuck there waiting 30 to 45 minutes for a march to land because of the slowdown, which is just ridiculous.
So,
and the bounce back is crucial, because if it goes all the way there and then it comes back, and it's just like, wow, that is just a complete wasted hour of my life.
well, the question is, do they fix it by limiting alts or deleting alts altogether, or do they fix it by, are they going to fix it by putting more packs that would combat that problem of speed up, like they'll speed up rallies or give you more packs for speeding marches?
So they
Like,
did.
Mm.
They did a state warfare pack just now, like when I just logged in tonight. They do have a speed up package, and it goes up to level 4. So normally there's 5 levels to a full bundle. This one has 4. But again, if I'm doing a 30, 45 minute reinforcement, I'm going to be running out of speed ups in an hour. I'll have none left. Unless you've been buying packs for months and months and months, every time the battle bundle comes out and have never really used anything, then you might be okay. But let's say your capital runs for 24 hours. Imagine the amount of biocaps, speed ups, whatever you're going to be using just to get to a destination on time. I know Scorn, in Scorn's case, and a lot of other max players, like let's say you're a floater and you're reinforcing different buildings because of your statistics. So you're deflecting rallies by getting your stats in the building. Well, for those particular people, they're having to jump around a ton. So, hopefully they have millions of biocaps or thousands of speed ups, because again, depending on the timing of your march or how often you're moving around, you're going to run out of those speed ups very, very quickly, considering the amount of players that are in that vicinity.
Just giving an example of what Dave's talking about. I remember, 1 second, buddy. 1 second. So I had over 200 of the 50% speed ups, and I went through them in one RR against the lines that were stronger than us. They can go quickly. Yeah. I'm just supporting Daedric. Yeah. That's me holding his butt up. Supporting him puts a light bulb.
The 50% speed up is a huge thing, and you can just run through those extremely quickly, without question. It's an added spend, or it's definitely an added piece that people will buy and happily buy, but it there's a point to where it's like, this is now it's just a cash grab, and it's got to be a fair level for both sides, because especially if they're if it is going to be this way, people are just going to kind of be like, all right, let me just go ahead and not really pay attention. It didn't land. All right, another hour. That's a 24-hour event anyway, so it's a very, very slippery slope as far as that's concerned, and it's definitely something that they have to monitor. As far as like the state matchups, it's really strange to hear the biggest the large variances of which states are going against each other. We actually are playing a state that's 11 days younger or older. No, we are 11 days older than them. So I thought most states were going to have that same issue, but when you have such a large state difference, that's tough, and that's probably just data driven, where an algorithm is only as good as the data that you pump into it to prepare it. So you basically have to run through numerous tests and kind of get it right. Just like Reservoir Raid was in the beginning, where it was just like, wow, this doesn't make any sense. Why am I playing them? And sort of, like how Showdown started out, where it was just like, okay, this is a blowout, and then it's like, this is random. Now we're really back to random. So, but the matchups have been better between alliances for showdown. So it's probably just going to take some time on both sides. But the simplest fix is to block capital until an hour before the event. So this way, no one's really 12 bases out. When it's not, hey, everyone in the state port over, and just make it a really big pain in the ass for the other state, because just kind of defeats the purpose of having a good battle that's lively and is attractive and is something that you look forward to every week or every other week or every time that happens.
Agreed.
Yeah, and a solution too, and this it's ironic because I know this conversation has been had 100%. I haven't actually seen it as an active discussion though in Discords, but removing the slowdown effect in capital completely. So
Yeah.
even if I'm 12 bases out, if you remove the slow mode, I'm fine, because then I'm not worried about a 30-45 minute march. Yes, it might still be 5 minutes, but 5 minutes is something I'm used to anyway if I'm right next to a tower. So I'm okay being 12 bases out. If you remove the slow mode effect, I can guarantee you you'd get a lot more positive reaction with that change than, let's say fog of war or, disabling the ability for people to port in, because I know that was one of the mechanics that the devs put in. They actually spoke to it and told states, hey, you need to strategize. So let's say fog of war was not an option for them. The next best fix would be remove slow mode.
Well, what are the options against that though? Like, that's what I want to know from you. Like, what are the cons for that, so that we can present it to them?
So, but that's just it though. I don't think there are cons, because if you're looking at if you're looking at bunker and fortress fight, you've never had slow mode.
Right.
So why do you need slow mode at capital if you've never had slow mode at a bunker or fortress? Like what's the justification?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what would have been the purpose to put it in the first place? There had to have been a reason.
Well, I
to
agree
slow
with
down some of the graphic bugs or the, you know what
well,
I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, I agree with Daedric. Personally, I agree with him on the same level with him with that, and that. Quicken it up, please. Pray about it tonight. I do believe that one counter argument is that it's a lot, for some people, it's a little bit easier, even though less patience and it interrupts their schedule a little bit more, and that they don't have to pay as much attention. They can send this 11, 12-minute rally, and they go finish through the dishes real quick. Or finish, sometimes I'll do that, like, okay, I gotta make my son's milk. Cool, let me send this big rally real quick. I'll make his milk by the time I'm done. The rally's about to hit. So I'll have to focus on it so I can do these different tasks that I need to do real fast. So on one flip side, I see that as being a benefit. Though, personally, in the long term, I would agree with Daedric. I prefer just hurry it up, please.
I always wondered though if it was the slowdown was intentional for the lag issue with so many marches around, like going so fast around that area. If that was the reason, if that was intentional for that reason, but I guess not. And
I felt, it was almost like it almost seemed like it was a way to kind of control, someone bouncing around and being a floater, and being able to beat out everyone else's rallies, in between. But like when you can fast march a reinforcement. So, so I kind of threw that theory out, but the game is built on, basically if you have more attacks, you then have to heal more troops, which could make you use more speed ups to heal those troops, or could make you use more resources to either build troops, or, it kind of fast tracks. The more battles you have, the more monetary value the game is bringing in, to basically keep that pace going. So, if they took the speed up off, it would definitely, just cause more interactions, which would cause more people to potentially buy more packs to keep them going. So, the slow mode, the slowing down through capital would be a tremendous benefit on their behalf more than anything else. Let alone, it does, if you're launching a half-minute rally, you could basically almost heal a half hour. You can literally heal your entire hospital if you do it correctly. So, it's just like, all right, let me just do it, and everyone just kind of hold fast, hope it lands and doesn't bounce back, and just start it all over again or whatever. So
So John Galt said, my guess is that they put the slowdown in place so that they could justify an 8-hour Capitol clash. Otherwise, it would be pretty easy to knock people out of the Capitol by having an alliance or multiple alliances and lots of rallies to the Capitol and quick marches, I'm assuming. The other question was from Colossus. Maybe the further you are away from the cap, the faster your march is, like rings of speed. That's kind of a good idea. But then that would negate, that would kind of like just equal everything out across the board though, right?
Like an average.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you have the closer as a long as a slower march, but then the further away is a faster march, so they would be equal.
Depending on where you're standing, yeah, there'd be an optimal amount of distance
I
that
mean,
you
like
want
right in the middle is the optimal. You'd probably spend hours figuring that out, of course.
Well, I would generally, in my opinion, John Galt often has the best wisdom. In this one case, I do like Titsaferi, her response to it, which is that yes, everything would go quicker, but the rains also go faster. So it's one of those counters. But then that would also then lean to my original counter, at least looking from a devil's advocate perspective, of that how long can we focus on that quick of a movement while living real life, with being whether being a parent or working a job or whatever. It's not very realistic, especially when you're trying to approach this from an international perspective when people are in different stages of their day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely think, again, it brings a lot of issues. But I do think that, Titsaferi brings a good counter, which is the rains go faster also.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did something like if they added more towers on the outside that gave you benefits, sort of like in Reservoir Raid, where certain towers will give you, a 15% march boost, or certain towers would give you a little bit more attack or defense or whatever the case may be. Expand the battlefield so it's not just everyone, especially in a multi-state event like this, is not just fighting for capital and 4 towers. Make it an extra number. So like Reservoir Raid, each different piece has a different tactic, because especially in 125 we're like, okay, we've got top 3 alliance, and then 4, 5, 6, 7 are almost interchangeable, and then after that it's like, hey guys, thanks for playing the game. It's you're really not going to do much, unfortunately. You're going to sit on the bench and clap, I guess, ish. So and that was just a random idea I just had, but sounded cool in my head while I was thinking through it. And,
I think it was a great idea.
Tail off into nothing.
Along with my state trap.
So this might be a different way of looking at it in that perspective. But let's say for all of you, Venom, Delete, and Daedric, whenever you do Capital Clash, which is in slow mode, interesting term, I've never heard it before. Makes sense though. It's intuitive. How often do you feel like if you're going against a competitive enemy, something where it's a challenge, that even though you're in slow mode, you still find yourself trying to think quickly of how to best respond to what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's going slowly, you're still trying to quickly assess the situation and decide what's the best response to it. And so it still does, if it goes much, much quicker, how much time do you have to respond to what someone else is doing in a way?
But that's because in a regular CC, we are closer. We're closer. But when you have the state versus state, we're like 6 rings out, where like our big guys would be a little bit closer. And yes, it does get kind of like hectic at the last minute trying to figure out like who's putting reins in where and who's attacking what. But when you're six rings out from it, you've got a good 5 minutes easily to make up something, or at least I think so.
To a degree, yeah. Generally, no. At first, yes, I would agree. You're right, but that's why another mechanism of that challenge is, cool, how do we take out one of their players that are right next to the Capitol, so that we now have a lead rally who's closer, so we don't have to wait for that time, which is something I'm trying to work. I'm trying to prepare for myself, because as of right now, I'm expecting that, hey, I'm bigger than this guy. I'm going to freaking rally him, so I'm going to be next to the Capitol. Like, cool. All right, let's dance. Let's do this thing. But
Yeah, but the scary part about porting into another player's state is that they can have reigns. They can have tons and tons of home state reigns where we hit them. You have to be sure that you are going to be more powerful than they are, because if they hit you, you're getting ported out, right? And we
no,
we
so
can't have
during the
any more than
state,
the reigns that we have there.
no. So how the reigns work is when you're reigned. So let's give examples to make it easier for everybody. You have state 1 and state 2. So state 1 goes into state 2. State 1 can't go into state 2 while they're reigned. But if they go into state 2 and someone else does, then they can reign them. And they don't get ported out of that state for any reason whatsoever.
The person within the state with them, yes.
Yeah, state 1 within state 2 does not get ported out for any reason ever. They can't go in there reigned, but if someone follows them, that person can reign them. And so that's not generally would be an issue in that aspect, because that's one of my strategies right now is that I'm going to go into the opposition state for that 1 hour, fully reigned. I'm going to try to cause havoc. I'm going to try to hey, let's piss you off. I want you to make a mistake type of thing. Mosquito. Right? One mistake. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Right? Exactly. One mistake. Give me that 150 million BP. They come from my capital. Let's see what happens now.
You gonna film
It's
it?
how you merged your alliances that their main strongest person just lost that much battle power. Let's do this. So there's validity to it.
I'm excited to see. You're gonna film some of it too, right?
I'm gonna try to film all of it. I got a little messed up. Little man here was supposed to have a sleepover, and that fell through because someone other than him, the mom of the other kid, is a jerk face.
Well, it's okay. He's a good kid though. He just sits there and chills.
Got him an add-on for his game because he was really sad about it. He was excited, but
yeah,
I still have plans to try to record most of it so that people can comment on it, both positive and negative. Why the hell would you do this? 'Cause I wasn't thinking. Or this cool idea.
You were the one guy that did one mess up, right? Messed up one time. Question. This is from Defender R. I would actually like to see more fights against Geocorp, where states would have to band together to win against zombies and not against other players. I think that kind of goes to what we were saying about the state infected and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, Defender, are you drunk? Do you want the devs to lose money by focusing on PvE that doesn't require money?
Oh my God.
When you're trying to think of a model, that would make sense. I would agree.
I can't control them, those. I'm sorry. Let's see. I wish if a rally completely filled, it would start and not have to wait the entire 5 minutes. Many similar games do that. 5 minutes seems like forever. What does he mean? Like the faster it fills, the more it can start right when it's full, instead of waiting the full 5.
Which could also be dangerous because half the time you fill a rally and you're like, dude, wait, no, you just sent the wrong lineup. We don't need that in there. Let's switch it out. So
and get another one, or it would suck as a defender to not have that 5 minutes to prepare, to be honest. It's one thing to get soloed or get hit, quick attack and sped up, attacked by somebody who's obviously stronger than you. But then to get rally sped up, you have no way to prepare for that. You get instantly zeroed. So I don't know.
Yeah, someone pops rally on you. You need that 5 minutes in their march time to kind of
or at least you're
figure out maybe I got to port out of here or pop a shield
ally
or
mates
something.
can reign you. Have a little bit of time to reign you.
Yeah, basic strategy that all alliances should be follow. Everyone's going to have their own high level strategy, but all the basics that every alliance should be following is everyone should be stocking up their alliance store with talent point resets, advanced relocators, and Peace Flare 8 hour. Those are the 3 top things that you want to have in your alliance store, and obviously March recalls just for the sake of battle. But going into as to what Scorn mentioned, and I'm actually really happy Scorn brought it up. It's a great point. A lot of people have asked the question, can you be reinforced in your own state and then teleport over? And so I'm really happy you brought that up, because a lot of people will still be doing that, despite the stream that we're doing and despite the questions that have been answered. So important to know that, you need to go over with a team and be reinforced there, so that you can, continue the battle aspect of it. With the farm accounts and alts, one of the discussions we had, a lot of states follow this general mutually respected rule of no hitting at capital. Obviously, with farm and alt accounts, I consider that an exception personally, that, in a case where we're going into a state that has at least 200 settlements already surrounding capital, I will be hitting farms. I will be hitting alt accounts. There's no way in hell I'm going to accept being 12 rings out. If I get an opportunity to hit an account and get right next to the capital, I'm going to do it. Regardless of any mutually agreed to rule of no settlement hitting at capital. Because at the end of the day, if you have an alt account there, you're going to get hit.
Wait a minute.
Period.
Do other states agree to no call? No.
Oh yes. Oh yes, they do.
During SBS, they don't hit
Yep.
bases?
Yep.
I'm not hitting
Why?
a certain base during SBS because the guy was really nice.
Why though? Honestly, why would you ever agree to not hit bases
It's just
in SBS?
because it is actually universally respected, agreed to rule that a lot, like the majority of the states in the game, have agreed to not to settlement hit at capital, and that even translates over to state versus state because it's become this universal thing. But as I mentioned, when it comes to an alter farm account, there's no way in hell that that's something I'm going to agree to. When you're looking at a state that has a 12 to 16 hour advantage of building a wall of defense, I'm going to be looking for the crack in that wall, and that settlement's going to get hit, and I'm going to pour it in. Period.
Yeah, I mean, we have that rule in our state about not hitting at capital, base hitting at bunkers or capital. Like I understand that for your state to have that rule for growth and for, just not wasting ports and giving the game money unnecessarily. But for SVS, that would never cross my mind not to put that rule in. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, especially if you're going to use that rule against, why it was created, to like have that just so you can block up space and be like, well, hey, you just hit a farm, you just hit a level 12, base that was holding a prime real estate. I mean, it was like, well, that's not why the rule was there. The rule was there to basically kind of, like you said, just not make it where King's Group is just winning. And it's because that's a pretty big turnaround. If your settlement gets hit and ported out, now you're using a port, you're also healing and things of that nature. But I mean, if you're going to leave yourself open to that, I mean, that's kind of silly also. But, it's we actually have not had, surprisingly, we've had not had those conversations with our competing state.
Mm-hmm.
We are kind of going into it where it's like, hey, we're not going to do it first, but if you really want it, we'll give it to you, kind of thing, because it's like we're kind of going in there thinking like, our top players are stronger than their top players, so if they get bored and they're just like, man, this sucks, we can't actually nudge anyone out of a tower, we're just going to start trying to kill people like crazy, and that's going to basically start a huge tidal wave of change during the capital, and then they'll lose capital, and then they'll also be really, really hurt. So it's a silly plan. You could have
an intermission like a hockey game and have like a 30-minute snack break and just completely shut down capital, and then we could tell M to bring her cheese stand into the capital, and everyone can line up at the cheese stand, get their cheese platters, and then we resume 30 minutes later.
Some Gouda, some brie.
It's true. It's true. The only thing that rings in my brain is the fact that it's there's a common phrase in State 125, and it's called "It's a war game." That's all this conversation brings up, is that it's a war game.
Colossus donated £5 to say "Cheer up, Day." with a kissy face. Why you sound so sad tonight, Daedric?
Oh, personal life shit.
Oh,
That's a bummer,
maybe
man.
killing a bunch of pixels is gonna make you feel better tomorrow. I know it
Yeah,
will.
we've had a lot of drama in state chat today, and S&M knows exactly what I'm talking about because it just happened recently. Just some stupid shit, and it's like he just can't get away from that. State versus state is like 8 hours away. We've got people bringing shit up that's just not necessary.
Oh, state drama.
Tough one.
Red Rocket,
one.
he had a question. Why does Arthur keep setting up his base behind all our shielded alt accounts we made in State 53? Does he want to give us a warm hug? Who's Archer?
What? I'm just, anything Arthur does is smart, and he should be scared.
Really?
I'm not kidding. If you're talking about Arthur from State 50, what, 53?
53.
Yeah, 53.
Probably, whether it be him or his leader, you should be crapping your pants. If it looks dumb, you're dumb. I'm telling you. Don't. Nothing he does is wrong or bad.
Is he that good?
Worst thing ever you're gonna deal with. I feel bad for you.
All right.
I'll pray for you tonight.
I'm gonna get him on the show. I want to talk to him.
I've already asked Cop to come on, and he won't.
Why?
He doesn't want to.
He doesn't like
but,
Daedric,
probably,
does he? Or Delete or you?
He's cool with everybody. He's actually being him. I consider him. I consider him probably one of the people I respect the most. We talk almost daily. But he's just not. He's a little bit shy person, but he's probably the smartest person I know. Yeah, he's
one suggestion for him. Scorn, pass along a message to Arthur. He needs to change his frickin' profile picture from frickin' in-game avatar. Like just looking like everything you said about the guy, and he's got frickin' Jeb as his profile picture. Like he needs to get like a cat up there or something interesting.
Arkansas. I gotcha. Oh, pass up. I don't ever talk to Arthur. I used to talk to Cobb, and he's of LDN, but he always has high things to say of Arthur. You know, and that's the people we've always beat people who are stronger than us in RR other than LDN. LDN will just like, hey, we're not that much stronger than us, but we're gonna hand you your own ass on a platter because we're that much better. Like they're good, and they're very humble about it too. Jerks.
Let's see. I'm gonna look at some of these questions real quick. Sorry. Did I just stop the stream accidentally, guys? Oh no, I didn't. There we go. Okay. So let's see. What if you could tie your question from Grapevine? What if you could tie your alts into your main account to help activity numbers, but still use it as a farm? I think you can only have one alt, right, per account, but people just make tons of new alts.
No, you have more.
No,
you have two per state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, like 2 per state, but they can just go on and make new games, like complete new games, right?
I have 12 at the moment, different Google accounts, not including my Facebook accounts when people transfer me accounts to give away. Yeah, common.
I don't even know what to do with him anymore. I don't. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I think we answered all of them. I was pretty good about catching all of them. I'm gonna do it again really quickly, just in case. About
There's
surrounding.
Daedric. There he is.
Oh, there's a little handsome fella.
Me?
Yeah, both of you. Let's see. He said about surrounding the capital question. If you get matched with a way stronger server and chances of beating their spending is gone, what other options besides surrounding the capital do you have? That's actually a really good question.
Can you repeat it again? Sorry, it was quiet.
So about surrounding the capital, my question is, if you get matched with a way stronger server and chances of beating their spending is gone, what other option besides surrounding the capital do you have?
Oh, he said their capital, I thought, looking now. No, hold on. I'll count to 30. Count to 30. Count to 30. Count to 30. I'm reading.
1, 2,
Thank you. Keep going.
3, 4, 5, 6,
Damn it. You didn't say yours.
8,
I was wrong.
9,
But still, that's why I see.
11,
That's the issue I'm dealing with.
15,
Kozak,
16, 17,
you have a really cool name that I
17.
can't pronounce because I'm lame.
I
But
can't
it's a good question.
Cause
So we're surrounding it, but we are facing people that are much stronger. So what we're doing is making where their rallies are weaker by removing the people who fill the rallies, the weaker people. So let's say that like this person is maxed and I'm not, and they're hitting me, they're gonna win. But if they don't have a full rally, but only 3/4 a rally, because we zeroed a lot of their lower end players that would fill the rallies. So we try to compensate for that. So it's not just, max player and non-max player, as much as who can have the best rallies. And usually max player has the best rallies. But if we remove their ability to have full rallies, then that's not nearly as strong. So that's the thing that we're having to rely on or try to. We may still lose. That's the only conclusion I could come to as for a chance to win, if that makes sense. So they're stronger than us, but if they only have 3/4 or half of the rallies that you would normally be able to have, then them being stronger isn't an issue because they'll keep on losing. But we'll see how it turns out.
Deja, you got anything to add to that?
No, I think that's really well put.
Everybody's like, "Oh, Daedric, they see you now, and you're so cute and handsome and adorable. Where's your kittens?"
I don't know why.
All 5 of them are wrestling with each other. The young kitten that I brought on stream past couple of weeks, he's learned to go up and down stairs now. So but he enjoys. We have a whole bunch of cat tunnels in the house, so he likes wrestling in the cat tunnels with the other cats.
See, it's
Nice
all
exercise
about
for
the
all.
kitties. It's about the kitties.
It's always about the
About
kitties.
the kitties.
If that's not a T-shirt, I don't know what is.
Yeah, all about the kitties.
Nope.
You can make that a SOS T-shirt. RSG does have gear. Might have to make an SOS T-shirt with you guys on it.
Oh, you know what? Here's an idea for the devs.
In a couple minutes.
Okay.
You just mentioned it.
After my tummy.
SOS merchandise.
So we can give them more money.
No, it's just you think about it, right? Like a lot of people will make that comment, right? Like, and that's all the haters in the chat and all the haters watching be like, oh, you're just feeding their pockets. Well, at the end of the day, every company has merchandise. Like RSG, you guys have merch, right? And I imagine you sell it to people when you can, or I don't know about that, but same thing for SOS. Like, you want to talk about another revenue stream? I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. Like, for the sake of the stream, the fact that we're in streams, I would be happy to buy an RSG product and an SOS product to wear in the stream at the same time to support both RSG and SOS, just as an example, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're looking at it from a marketing perspective, I know this is completely off topic to state versus state, but you had mentioned it. It's a really cool idea, and every company or most companies who have an app or e-commerce sell merchandise of some kind. So
I'd totally wear an SOS.
Real life skins.
I'd wear a Sarge T-shirt.
yeah, like exactly, right? Like get a
Rusty
T-shirt or a
boot
cap or
kick.
something. Yeah. Rusty boot kick on a shirt. There you go.
Rusty
Rusty would be the best. You'd be the best seller. You'd be the
I
best
might
seller.
actually talk to SOS about, like, if I make a RSG SOS mashup T-shirt, can I sell it on our merch page? Because we do have like lots of cool merch gear for RSG. We'll see. A Frank T-shirt.
So that's a great idea. A great. He highlights an important idea of just whether you're a great company who everybody loves or not. Either way, you're going to have to make some form of profit to be able to be self-sustaining. And what does that look like? And so that's the question I always have, whether there's no right or wrong, and there's a value argument to where SOS is always this short-term model. Or let me rephrase that. King's Group is a short-term model of like, hey, 4 years, we're going to leave you behind compared to other games. And so that's why I'm always curious about how well do you compare to other games that have a longer-term model and community, to where, let's say right now, they have a lot of the prep phases revolved around spending a lot of money. Good luck making money off the second time everybody does SVS, when you can just remove that and just make a little money over time, which would accumulate the same or more and continually make that income. And so that's always, I don't know. That's not something that's not my experience is, but it's always the question I always rely on. And Daedric, I think highlighted it really well, in that, like, no matter what, I don't dislike them because they.
that belongs on a t-shirt.
I think
as well.
he just said that you're full of BS. Is what that was.
Let's encourage it. Let's encourage the behavior.
So, Scorn, you're actually, you're actually on something there though too with what you just said. So I'm going to use your example you just mentioned about the people not continuing to spend heavily over the next SVS and just changing the model, opening up a different revenue stream. So let's say, I'm just going to use the merch example that Venom indirectly hinted to. If they opened up additional revenue streams, they could actually then cut down the amount of spending required in game. If you open up additional sources of revenue, not that you're going to want to cut down revenue streams, obviously, like you want as much money as possible coming in, but you actually then have the ability to, by opening up these additional revenue streams, to make the game a little bit cheaper for people to pay to play, or even the free players to enjoy. So we wouldn't require as much for state versus state. We wouldn't require as much for Reservoir Raid. They might be able to lower cost on bundles, things of that nature. There's always a cause and effect to opening up revenue streams. So it's just interesting that you brought that up, that it just alluded to something else. So
yeah, so that's a pretty interesting thought, actually. Good. That was good discussion.
I think it'd be helpful whenever a dev comes on the show, like they said they would.
They're probably scared now, Scorn.
Yeah,
you guys have scared them away.
I think we've eliminated you as a mod for that conversation.
Yeah, I'm gonna get like okay, well, who's gonna be on? Well, Scorn. Okay, well, maybe next time then.
No, but he brings up very valid points. I mean, it's additional revenue streams is always something that comes up in this stream. Because at the end of the day, we all want to kind of keep this all going. And we give extremely good insight into how to improve the game. And this is stuff that actually people would buy. I'd buy a Rusty t-shirt. I'd probably even get like a legendary blank frag t-shirt, and people would be like, "Whoa, what's that? What do you got there?" Yeah, you, sir, are cool.
Yeah.
That's what I would get. Obviously, I get that on the regular anyway, but still, just a little added extra is nice.
You're going to get a bunch of hey nerd.
Well,
hey, I get that all the time, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
What you playing there, nerd wars?
I'll phrase it this way. Because we do talk about profitability a lot, and Venom, you ask a very valid question anytime an idea is mentioned, is what are the pros and cons, or if the suggestion is coming from a player, what's the benefit to the dev or benefit to the company? And I think our discussions have been great, and I think it actually is really important that the devs are listening, or at some point they do come on, but we as people in the stream, or people who do support the game, or are optimistic about the game continuing, let's say they have a 4-year business plan. I'd love for them to have a 6-year business plan. Why not go an additional 2 years? Why not, as a company, why not get 2 additional years of profit? Why would I leave after 4 years if I can get another 2 years on my business plan of being profitable? That's why when we give these little gold nuggets in stream or gold nuggets in Discord of ideas, such as merch, such as whatever we've talked about over the past several months now that the stream has been live and all the Discord conversation, it's free advice. All of us work. I've been in business for 15 years. So, a lot of the ideas that we have from the various jobs we have, they are gold little nuggets that the company should absolutely be taking. It's free advice, and as players and as streamers, I would like the game to continue to go on longer than their current business plan model stands, and that's just a personal opinion, right? But as a company, if I was Kings Group, I'd be eating that shit up all day and night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and honestly,
without
I
question.
was picking on Scorn, but honestly, they do like from the few words that I've had as far as it goes to the panel that we have. They like that we play devil's advocate. They like that we give pros and cons, and they like that there is an antagonist and a protagonist on the stream, like somebody that is actually a realist, someone that's a dreamer, someone that's keeps it grounded, like that diverse panel attitude that we have. I think that is a good way to approach it, where you have somebody with different views from each angle coming in at it.
Who's the dreamer?
I mean,
we're
obviously
all
I
kind of
am.
dreamy.
I have the state trap idea. I'm the dreamer.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to edit that out.
With the quality of programming that developers give us, though, it's not surprising that the intention for KG is probably massive merger soon and then abandoning the game in another year or so. See, I disagree with that, because I feel like they have put a lot of work in the last, especially the last month, in pushing the game forward in terms of what the community has asked for. Like, I feel like they have. Now, do they have a long way to go? Absolutely. And we've been bombarding them with like so many things that we want this, and we want this change. But I feel like they are moving towards like trying to better the game. If they weren't trying to better it, they just kind of leave us with what we have and then start merging states and milking and then go on. But they're really actively putting betas out. They're putting feedback out. They're asking for suggestions. I mean,
they did more than that one beta.
They're doing another beta. Yes.
Oh, okay. Curious.
So there's things coming down the pipe. Like, not to mention, they're putting in investment into streams like this. This is not just for promotion for them. This is for engagement of the community, or what I was told, why they put in the codes for us to use, why they promote us on Twitter, on Facebook, not just for publicity, because they're getting plenty of players coming in. It's for community engagement, for us talking and figuring out what we want of the game and what we want the devs to bring us, and them listening to it. So I think they are trying. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
actually,
we've seen a ton of game change. A lot of our suggestions have come through. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that, it was like, oh, they took away the help button. It was like, remember those days, and that's gone, and like now it's like, okay, we're on a positive swing, and a lot of it is exactly right. The community engagement, I do have to, take and tip my hat to Venom, because she's done a great job with the stream and all the people that are following, and chatting. This has been, it's been a group effort, and we've had fun doing it, having a positive change in a game that we all play, for a good amount of time. Things are on a positive swing, and yeah, it would be nice to have a dev on, to kind of like answer. I mean, it would have to be fair to them too, just to kind of play the devil's advocate, because it can't be just like a full-on attack, and now no one person can actually, really set up and speak for an entire company. But I mean, we're probably closer now than we ever were in the past. So we keep it positive, and we keep discussing the things that make sense towards a game, between us, and it gets to them, and who knows, maybe they do make change. Maybe they start a t-shirt on their social tomorrow. Who knows?
And so I partially agree with Delete here. My only issue is how much have the devs decided, at least in relation to this streaming community, that they're interested in whatever feedback we have to give in a very politically correct, regulated environment compared to a very decentralized forum where they can still take their time to answer and they don't have any pressure on them, but they can have a full and real response to what people want without any lashback and be able to react to it. Because right now, instead of us being regulated, hey, stop it, stop it! So instead of being regulated in what we have to
Try not
say,
to be distracted by your Tyrannosaurus Rex down there. It's hilarious.
he's a zombie right now.
Oh, is he? Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Perfect.
But
love it.
idea is that like I have to filter what I have to say. Nobody else here does to a degree. So we can try to display or filter or share what other people have to say as a republic almost, which is fair. That's understandable to a degree. But how many other people have something to say or correct what we have to say? Because we don't get to understand, we don't get to hear what everybody else has to say. We're not fully informed of what the community has to say. We're not even close. And that just comes to a forum, which gives the devs the ability to not respond for a week, 2 weeks, whatever they want, and that's fine still. So they're not under no pressure. They can F up all they want, and it's not a big deal. People make mistakes as long as they share that they made a mistake and they fix it, but they don't give the opportunity to respond, to admit it and respond and talk about how to correct it and what else the community wants. They're relying on, as a moment, only, from what I'm aware of, the stream, which is great. It's awesome.
And Discord, they do use their Discord server, but you know what? I would
do.
make
They don't
a
me.
suggestion. Scorn, who is always scorned by things. I think maybe you should start talking about getting a forum going as a moderator for a forum.
Moderator, or just create my own forum as not a moderator, because I tried to
work
moderate
with the
training, which is
dev
like,
team. Like,
sorry.
reach out to the dev team about starting a forum and ask them how you can help. Ask them how you can help moderate this and help develop a team to moderate it that would be for them to have interaction with the community. I think it would be a good idea. And I think they would probably be open to it because, like every other game that I've played, they do have a forum for like questions and answers and the way they get their information out other than just in the game.
That's a good idea. So in the VIP SOS Discord, I've been ignored 4 times so far. So maybe now the 5th time when I ask if I can help with that, they'll answer. That's a great idea. I appreciate you sharing that with me. Maybe they'll be
now that
receptive
we've said
to
it on the stream, and then
Yeah.
maybe I'll talk to some of them a couple more times. He's so salty.
I'm just saying, you're being reasonable, and reasonable doesn't work.
It sometimes does, Scorn.
Scorn is so ready for SVS. It is
He is.
unbelievable.
He needs
I
to go
feel
kill
bad.
some
I
things.
feel
I want
bad
blood.
for
He-
whoever gets zeroed
I do
in the next
too.
couple
He
hours
needs to kill
because
some
it's
things.
happening. It is happening.
He really
So
does.
we
You're not gonna
were
see me being zeroed in the video. I mean, just like going from 450 to like 50. I'll share it with you tomorrow.
Like you
We're
can,
probably gonna see.
his son is even getting some of his aggression rubbed off. Like you can feel it radiating
yeah.
through him with the zombie. Go ahead, Daedric.
I was just talking, to support, Scorn's perspective on, community engagement and just that whole discussion. We've talked about surveys a lot, and they have been underutilized. So, Scorn is 100% correct, and I support him fully when he makes a statement of we don't know what the community wants. Yes, we're a live stream. Yes, we're in Discords. Yes, we may be game legends to a degree of we're in all these chats and have a following, but we don't know what the community wants. We're talking about tens of thousands of people we have never talked to, have never met, and have an opinion, but have never actually voiced it because they're not in any of the social media platforms that the game has to offer. The survey, however, one of the reasons why, like, just take your email inbox for an example. Like a Costco will send you a survey, or Loblaws will send you a survey for your shopping experience, or hey, how do you like this new technology we had in our store? You're not going to get every single person who got the email to respond, but you're going to get a percentage. Now that percentage responding to your survey is going to be far greater than any stream you would ever do, any Discord server you'd ever put up. And that would at least be a basis foundation on a decision. So if they release an update as a dev, I would release a survey on that update. And let's say I send it out to 100,000 people. The general response rate for a survey, you know, when you're talking retail, is between 1% and 3%. It's very, very tiny. But the numbers are actually quite large when you're looking at the percentage overall. So you can get a pretty damn good feedback pool based on that survey. So yes, it's not the entire community, but it's people who care enough to respond. That's what you're looking for, the people who actually care enough to provide that feedback and say, hey, I really appreciate you giving me the survey. This is what I think. This is what I want to see as a player. Then you can use that as your foundation. So
Yeah.
That's why I keep mentioning the survey every single time. It is such a great tool and such an easy tool to be like, hey guys, what do you want? What do you want? And if you care enough, you'll fill it out.
Yeah. Actually, a couple of the other games I've played have all done like, you know, basically, actually at one point it was down to like a weekly survey, and they gave out like a code to the, you know, the people like, oh, you're one of like the 100 people we selected out of the random survey, you know, takers that, you know, we're going to give you this extra reward, where it was something, you know, in-game value that was just like, here, you got this, you know, thanks for participating. These are the 100 people that actually won. We look forward to the next, you know, batch of 100 that we give it out to. And it just encouraged people to continually try and get those surveys. And, you know, I've always, you know, because of the games that I play and the games that I've, you know, invest my time in, which are way more important than just about the monetary value that they contribute to, that, you know, it shows that they actually, you know, really do care about your thoughts. So without question, you know, we are, you know, a good group of people, but we are not everybody. And the only way that they can hear from everyone is really instituting and using the survey. And there's always a percentage of people that you can kind of provide and just align a baseline to your business model that make it make sense. Like, oh, wow, we are actually concentrating on a facet of the game that we don't need to concentrate on. You know, that's, you know, understanding that is very important to the lifeblood of your game. So it's definitely, you know, the survey thing is definitely big. I mean, right now I click on a survey and it's really bizarro, you know, questions that are being asked, but they definitely do need to institute that for
That's
sure.
a good point. Colossus just said, question survey with prizes. Do you think it would work getting more responses, or would you get too many spam returns? To be honest, I think it would work. Throw in 100 bio caps and people would definitely fill those things out.
Yeah, without question.
Without question.
Without question.
Actually, speaking of questions, I'm going to answer a couple of them, and then we are, oh my gosh, we're so late.
Hey,
All
it's
right,
a Friday. Who cares?
Yeah,
It's the
it's what we
Friday before
do. Venom, it's what we
SVS.
do.
I know, but
Oh
we
yeah,
have
it's true.
SVS. Keeping everybody up too late. Okay. Question is SVS, this is from Sweet Addict. She's actually in our 359 server.
Yeah.
What's up, lady? Is SVS going to replace CC every 2 weeks and then opposite week being Alliance Throwdown? I can't see people continuing the spending for events every 2 weeks. I actually 100% agree. Like, who can keep this up? I know that we're just hardcore spending for the first one, but like, it's not going to be every 2 weeks, right? That everybody's going to go so hard.
Yeah, the intention with state versus state, as far as I have seen, so don't quote me on this, please. But the intention I've seen is for it to be either once every month or every couple months. I believe it's going to actually be every couple of months, because the states obviously are going to have their own capital clash to take care of, and it wouldn't make sense to have state versus state and then our own capital and then state versus state again, which would be the month. So I'm thinking it will be every couple of months. You know, once per maybe 2 or 3, just on the basis of how they laid out the beta. And again, like you need time to save. So if you're looking at people being competitive with the points in the stages, there's no way in hell you can compete. Like right now we're at 1.6 billion points. There's no way in hell we're going to get another 1.6 billion points if we don't have the time to save up the materials, right? But there's also people who are maxing out, and so there's a lot of variables in there. But I believe it is every couple of months.
Yeah, I think that would be reasonable. To be honest, it would be a good cadence for the SVS.
Yeah.
Question from John Galt. Has the community asked for skewed battle results where lesser amounts of lower tier troops cause a higher rate damage to higher tier troops since the 1.8.60 update? Scorn, do you have an answer for this?
For a second, let me talk. Yes, I mean, he's bringing up a good point, and that the devs are ridiculous in that we're giving facts of, so let's say, hypothetically, Daedric, Delete, Venom, do you agree that everybody should be taking equal damage between tiers 1 through 10? If you're dealt damage when in a fight, damage is distributed evenly, as the devs said that would be. Stop it! As the devs said it would be. We proved it isn't. You send a tier 8 against a 3 plasma troop of the same equivalency, no heroes and no research because you just go straight to econ, so it doesn't affect your battle, and the same battle gear, and we sent them the screenshots. The 3 plasma troops lose a lot compared to T8 troops.
Really?
We have all the screenshots. We set them over and over in different scenarios, and they continue to ignore it. Like, it's ridiculous. Wow. It is nuts. They're like, oh, well, they're just trying to spread the damage equally. Clearly not. Let's say I have this mathematician, and me, I'm not a mathematician, but I'm a statistician. Tell me that you're wrong, and let me give you the numbers in this right here. And they say the same thing over and over. Like, it is embarrassingly bad. And so I'm going to, at time I have to go into the code to look at what they're trying to do because it makes no sense, and they don't actually look at it. We give them the screenshots. It's clearly wrong. They even admitted it was wrong, and then try to make some other random excuse. Hey, 1 second. Like, it's ridiculous. And that's what Galt's talking about, because he's from my state, and he knows that. He was part of the testing. It is nuts. Like, it is embarrassing. Wow. Like, oh, are you drunk? No? Yes? Okay, cool. I think I said something in the IC.
Daedric, have you noticed any of those skewed results?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Actually, Score and I have talked about it a couple times. Last time he was on stream, we talked about it. We've talked about it in PM. We've talked about it in the Discord. There was a point I had mentioned where I was hitting, I hit like an HQ 26 or 27. He just had regular, T9s. I was hitting with Plasma 3, and I'm close to being maxed out. And I was taking thousands of losses on this dude who has like we're talking, 200% health and lethality, and I'm in the 400% range, and I'm taking thousands of losses. Like, what is going on here?
So factually, we have SS to prove it, is that the 3 plasma troops. Actually, the higher tier 3 plasma troops take more of the damage than lower tier troops. So if you're in battle, your tier 10 or tier 9 troops will have less casualties than the plasma 3 troops. That is a fact. We have it in all the different conditions with no other factors influencing it. All moderating factors removed. And they still deny it. Other than once, they admitted it and tried to give him, I think it was 3 heads of biocaps they gave Fire4. Stop it!
The thing that's so hilarious is, like, you're just, like, raging, and he's just giggling, like, just... He's adorable. He is so adorable. So...
You are the favorite toy in that house.
You're a pushover is what you are. You can tell how scared he is of you, obviously. You're all bark, is what you are.
I know.
Mr. Ragnar, the scary.
I love my baby boy.
We had a shout out from Colossus, donated £5. Again, Colossus, thank you so much. Y'all are great. All make for a great stream. Thank you so much, Colossus. We appreciate it. Also, Kirsch, big boy Kirsch, donated $4.99. He didn't put anything in there, but it was awesome that he's watching. We appreciate your support. And then we also had a donation from Kyrie Bruce. I said Kyrie, and it's not. It's
Did it again.
I did it. I do it every Kyrie. I do it every time. Bruce, she said, "Love your hair right now, Venom, and thanks for doing the stream despite everything. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Bruce. You're awesome." She's actually in Mine and Delete's Alliance. And then we also had Durgan say, Reality Skew Gamers, why haven't you had Finity on to talk about his better base and gardens? Because that's not what we do here. Finnan has his own like tree streams, which he can have. That's fine. I'll let him do it. It's all right. John Galt's still kind of going on about the he's also proven that 1 T8 wounds 3 troops at 3-star plasma level and 1 troop versus 10 and 3 get wounded, even with a much higher defense statistic. So, yeah, that's definitely something. Go ahead, Daedric.
So this is actually not directed at John Galt. He brought up something that I want to mention as a global statement because it is causing a lot of drama in Discord and just community. So this stream and the Discord and the SOS Discord and anything game related, the intention is to help players all the time. Like we're here to answer questions, we're here to filter your questions, we're here to give you information. Similar to Facebook and TikTok and everyone else, everyone feels the need to be an expert at everything. Everyone's a doctor, everyone's a veterinarian, everyone's a nuclear physicist, everyone's a nutritional expert, and they pretend that they know the subject matter. And I'm using this as an example because there are people, and John Galt, again, not directed at you, but there have been people in the Discord who have blanket statement said, I've tested this, this is how it is, this is the fact, this is how the game operates. As if they know the code and understand, that it's going to work this way every time. I just want to caution people who make those comments, especially for new players coming in. And Venom, actually, you had this discussion with us, is the amount of false information making its way into the game is absolutely absurd. There are people who are trying to genuinely learn and sincerely get to know the game mechanics, the play style, really understand how they can contribute and play the right way. But there are these fact, experts out there who actually have a lot of false information, are not providing real content, and are causing misinformation. So I just want to caution, making statements of, hey, I tested this, this is how it is. So Galt, I know you're the one who made the comment. I want to caution the way it's phrased, because, using your question as an example, it's entirely dependent on statistics. You're not going to have the same amount of wounded in your test every time. If you have somebody with, statistics 100% higher, how can you guarantee that you're going to have the same amount of wounded? Have you tested those statistics? Because what you're then having to do is test every single hero composition, troop tier composition, statistics. What do they have in their war tree? Do they have any buffs activated? There's so many variables in this game that it's hard to blanket statement that. So I just wanted to go on my little rant there.
And I think there's wisdom to that. You're right. But within the boundaries that they've given, so let's say the statement of let's change the battle statistics to where damage is evenly distributed between all types, no matter what level you're at, and you have no heroes, and everything else is equivalent. There's no statistics involved, and if there is, let's do it 10 times and still get the same answer. They're clearly wrong, and that's the problem I have. And and I still think you're right in talking about that, because not even only myself, but anybody else could still be wrong, and our assumptions that we build upon are interpretations of what they're saying. And I think we need to be smart about that, and I could be wrong still. My issue is that with what they've given, what we've done, they haven't corrected us with like, hey, this is why.
Or clarified. Yes, clarified why.
But generally, for the most part, I think there's a lot of people that do that, including I made that mistake myself. And I think Daedric raises a wisdom about how people are vulnerable to thinking they know what the hell they're talking about, including myself. And that's an error we need to double check. So I've been wrong before. I've crap talked to somebody about like I didn't know what I was talking about. Nope, you're dumb. Go home. The situation doesn't change. And I still may be wrong. So I think that's a good wisdom to keep in mind. And
Little Scorn thinks so too. Tits of Fury said, question, who in the stream also thinks that trees should be included in the rewards? No more tree talk. Here is the second biocap code for you guys. We have code CAFE, so rush over and use it. Again, code CAFE, 1,000 biocaps. If you were here, if you missed it earlier, the other biocap code was text, but this one is CAFE. I don't know where they came up with these names, to be honest. Like, it's kind of random the way they come up with them. Remember, I had a McVenom one. I wish they would use all of our names in the next codes. That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Actually, that would be.
Maybe I'll ask them. I'll be like, hey, can we get like a Daedric code and a Scorn code and then a delete code?
Oh, people are guaranteed to spell it wrong.
Delete. Yeah, they would. Agreed. Yes. Then the other one is called text. I'll even place that one again for you guys. This is the first one. And here is the second one. Okay. We appreciate you guys stopping in. We did a little bit of SBS talk. We did a random bunch of other stuff too. I have a question for you guys. We want to name the stream. We've been talking about throwing around some random names, and we really want to just have like a stream name, like call this Friday night SOS stream something like. The winner so far is called The Bunker, which I kind of like. But if you guys have any suggestions, shoot me a DM with your suggestions. Actually, don't shoot me one, shoot Daedric one. And anybody that has a great suggestion, we might actually choose that one for the winner of our stream name. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. But so far, we're going with The Bunker. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I have to leave real quick, so it'll do bedtime. But what about Survive the Venom?
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Scorn can't leave on that. Man by himself. No. I like The Bunker. I think it's cool. We'll see. You guys, if you have any other suggestions, let us know. But and tell me how you feel about the 9 p.m. I know that 9 p.m. works better for us because, as you can see, Scorn has a little one. We all, have real lives, jobs, families, and so it's a little bit difficult to jump on at 8 o'clock for a lot of us. So 9 o'clock is a little bit better for a Friday. So survive the tits. No.
That is so great.
No.
Survive the Kane Walker and IV bag.
Daedric, you went the whole night without making an old joke. Why would you do it right at the end of the stream?
Oh, get off his back.
He's so mean.
We have to keep that going also.
Yeah, right. Get off. Maybe we should name it that. Get off our backs.
Oh, I like that. Get off our backs.
So, yeah, you guys let us know if 9 p.m.'s working well for you guys. Also, let us know your suggestions for the stream name. We want to thank all of our subscribers and members that have joined recently. Let's see here. We have the most recent full list of YouTube members here. I want to just name them off, but we'll also have a scroll that'll pop up at the end of our stream. We have Asuka, Badrongo, Bean, Bimasu, Buzzsaw, CBO97, Colossus, Contingent 33, Dark Helmet, Devil's Treasure, Dr. Feelgood, Eli Plays, Guzza Buzza, Jason Hommel, John Moran, Lionheart, Mai, Maz Kanata, Nero, 125, Revenator, RSG Dodge, Sanely Red, Shadow Veil, Slash Van Rhodes, Steve Nichols, SWGOH, Gretchen, Teals, Traz Revan, Tits of Fury, Waffle Dolphin. I don't know why that name makes me laugh. Waffle Dolphin, What Else 73, and Youngin. All of those are our YouTube members. You can get a membership, which gets you some special spots in the RSG Discord and some other things, some special emotes. But we'll get you all that information later. And then we're going to have a scroll that reads off all of those names at the end of every stream. Finn is actually working on that for us now. But we may have an VC. Guys, are we doing a VC after party or no? What are we doing tonight? Yeah, VC after party.
Yeah.
For a
Gonna
little
be the
while.
only one that I can't make. I'm bumming out, but I've got, real life issues. Just kind of,
I know.
come on.
Delete.
Come on.
Delete. I got something to cheer you up, buddy.
Oh, I'll hear it in the VC. All right, how's that sound?
Oh, I'll just tell it to you here. Hey, Venom, are those wrinkles, or are you just surprised all the time?
Oh man!
Guys, you
For the
see
record,
this?
Venom, I
Do
do
you
not
see
see
this?
any wrinkles on you.
Thank you. I have them. They're there. There's a lot of them there. There are.
Looking really hard
We
right now.
appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay tuned for the next Friday night. We're gonna have I don't know what our topic's gonna be, but it's gonna be something, I'm sure. I might make
Something
Daedric.
awesome.
I might make Daedric pick out the topic next time because he's being so mean.
Roast Daedric.
Maybe. But you guys have a good night. We appreciate you stopping in, and happy hunting.